jungle, everyone. I'm Kyle Phelps, and this is The Sports Show. We're going back to our preview style because it just makes a hell of a lot more sense, honestly. But we got everything you're going to need. You're going to be much more informed after watching this, and you're going to come crawling into me, and you're going to be begging me for more content like this because it's just going to improve your life so much. You're going to win all of your gambling endeavors, and you're basically just like, it's going to be the end of the world if you don't, go along with it. So I don't have anything better planned. Point is, we're about to fucking knock your socks off, I guess. I don't know. Here we go. So, first of all, apologies because it looked like that intro was clipping quite a bit. So, yeah, I don't know. We're getting it done though. But we're gonna kick things off with the Thursday night football game we got coming tomorrow night. We got the Buffalo Bills coming down to Houston to play the Texans. I gotta be honest, I don't really quite know what to make of this one between a Texans team that's garbage, that looks a little bit less like garbage lately, and a Buffalo Bills team, which, regardless of what Richard thinks, is not garbage, but kind of looks a little bit like garbage lately. So, I don't know what we're going to see. Josh Allen, last week, put up 6 total touchdowns against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and looked absolutely unstoppable. But a few weeks ago, they struggled with the Saints, and that's concerning. Meanwhile, the Houston Texans are starting Davis Mills for the 3rd straight game because C.J. Stroud is still in concussion protocol, which is rough. But that's going to be an interesting experiment to see Davis Mills continuing to be the starting quarterback for the Texans. It was looking better until Davis Mills got there, and now it's just when you're starting Davis Mills, you got some problems. The Bills are going to be 6-point favorites, and Houston's defense is ranked number 1 in the league. I don't know how, but they are. So this should be a battle when you really actually sit down and analyze. Davis Mills isn't going to get you much on offense. But if the Texans defense can come through, then, maybe, if he doesn't turn the ball over a lot, then you've got a decent chance, right? When Josh Allen's rolling like this, I don't even know if the best defense can stop him, though. So I think Buffalo probably is going to pull away late, but it's going to be ugly for a while. Then you got a game I'm not looking forward to watching. You got the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the New England Patriots. And I would say this is a must-win for the Bengals, but let's be real. The season basically ended after we got our asses whooped by the Steelers. Technically, if you want me to go nut job conspiracy theorist and bring out my whiteboard and stuff, like the Bengals can still make the playoffs. Why? Because the AFC North is garbage, and the Bengals defense is even more garbage. But I don't know, if they can get something together, and I guess Joe Burrow's coming back here pretty soon, they could still win the AFC North. They'd have to completely turn it around immediately right now, but it wouldn't be, I said it on the stream, it wouldn't be completely out of the realm of possibility for them to win the AFC North at 8-9. And then they'd be like the hottest team in the NFL, so maybe they'd actually do something as a playoff team with a very bad record, but probably not. Probably they're going to lose this game against the Patriots, and then Joe Burrow's not going to really be incentivized to come back very quickly. He wants to come back for Thanksgiving, but if they lose to the Patriots, I don't know if that's going to happen. Go ahead and start planning your off-season vacation, Bengals. New England's riding high with a 9-2 record with 8 straight wins right now. Drake May's finally looking like a legit franchise quarterback, but on top of that, Jamar Chase is suspended. And I was telling Mikey before I started streaming that I don't know if I've ever cared less about anything than Jamar Chase being suspended for the Patriots game, because like whatever, like he probably shouldn't do that. I'm not too upset at him for another instance of him basically flipping the bird to the Steelers, and I mean it's unhygienic and whatever, but fuck Jalen Ramsey. Whatever. If you're going to get suspended for any game, might as well get suspended at the end of the season when the season's basically fucking over anyway, I don't know. We'll see. If we're going to win, I don't know if Jamar Chase is like if we're destined to beat the Patriots, I don't know if like Jamar Chase was going to change that for us, because like if we're going to beat the Patriots, we're probably doing so because somebody stepped up, and Jamar Chase has been awesome all year and we still haven't been winning. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, the Bengals' best weapon is sitting out, which means Joe Flacco is going to have to figure out how to move the ball without his security blanket, but he's been all over the league at this point anyway. The Patriots are 8.5 point favorites, and they probably cover that, honestly. The Bengals' season is circling the drain. I'm nihilistic at this point. Like, I've been doing mock drafts all week. That's how bad it's got. It feels like this week it goes down for good. They get to 8 losses, and like I said, they could theoretically win this division at 8-9. But the likelihood of that happening, first of all, they got to even get to 8-9, which doesn't feel like that's going to happen. But for the Patriots, they're probably going to keep on their pace of potentially winning their division. Then you got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Chicago to play the Bears in what could be a really sneaky good game. You're gonna have Caleb Williams kind of going nuts. I don't quite know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Like, I know he's got a wrist injury, but it's not really super clear if he's gonna play or not. If it's Mason Rudolph, Mason Rudolph's not playing the Bengals defense, so it's probably not going to turn out super well for the Steelers. And so I might watch this game, probably not, because it's probably going to be on at the same time as the Bengals game. And yeah, as much as I'm lamenting myself and kicking myself, I'm going to be here on the stream for the Bengals games. So I'm not going to be able to watch the Steelers-Bears game. Maybe I'll go back and watch it if the Bears kick their asses. That'd be a fun little bit of catharsis. Chicago's 7-3 under Ben Johnson, right? He seems like he was the right hire. Caleb Williams is kind of starting to figure things out. And I think we all kind of figured he would eventually, but things were so bad for the Bears for the longest time, it was like, are the Bears just going to ruin them? But it seems like they've figured something out. The Bears have won a bunch of close games this year, and they are scrappy as hell. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, might be without Aaron Rodgers, like I said, and it'll get interesting if he plays, but I have a feeling he probably won't. The Bears are 3-point favorites at home. I think they're going to squeak this one out. I'll have my official predictions tomorrow night, but from where we're sitting at right now, I think the Bears look like the better team. Caleb Williams probably going to make a few plays. The defense will hold up just enough. Mason Rudolph's going to throw a couple interceptions, and Chicago stays in the hunt for the NFC North. Jets at Ravens is our next game. Whew. The Jets are switching to Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. Former Baltimore Ravens legend Tyrod Taylor, by the way. Does it really matter though? This team's putting up minus 10 yards of passing in London. I'm not going to let them live that one down. That's not a football team. That's a cry for help. Baltimore's won 3 straight games. They're 13.5 point favorites in this game, which might be light because, maybe I shouldn't make fun of the Jets because they beat my fucking team, but my team's stupid and dumb, so ignore them. Lamar Jackson's been working through a hamstring issue, but he should be ready to go this week. And this is the week that he probably gets back to looking at himself. The Jets very much feel like a get-right team. kind of like the Bengals are for a lot of teams, including the Jets. But then the Jets went back to not being right, and so the Ravens are probably just going to slaughter them. Next up, you got the New York Giants heading to Detroit. And this is basically a prove you're not cooked game for the Lions, because the Lions have been on a bit of a weird trajectory lately. And the Giants have been scrappy. Now, they did just fire Brian Daboll, and I don't know if that was exactly the right move, but sometimes that motivates players. Detroit just got punched in the mouth by the Eagles last week, though, and they looked kind of soft while they were there. They did not look like a Dan Campbell coach team during that game. Where's that biting kneecap energy, honestly? It's all gone. Now they got to go back home against a Giants team that's going nowhere fast. New York might have Jackson Dart at quarterback, but it doesn't really matter who's playing. The Lions are 10.5-point favorites. Hard to imagine the Giants pulling that one off, but the Giants have been weird this year, so you never know. Seahawks at Titans next. This one is looking like the most lopsided potential game of the week. Honestly, all of these games are every game I've talked about basically, except for like Steelers, Bears. Maybe Bills, Texans will be interesting. We'll have to see. But we got a lot of lopsided, lame games this week. And here's another one with the Seahawks and the Titans. Seattle's 7-3. They are coming off of a tough loss to the Rams, but if anything, I think that's just going to piss them off. Sam Darnold's been having a hell of a season this year, while Tennessee's 1-9, and Cam Ward has been just demolished all year and got even more demolished by the Houston Texans defense. The Seahawks defense, on the other hand, has been bullying quarterbacks all season as well. So, being 13-point favorites, it feels like it's going to be a bloodbath. It feels like the Titans are going to be walking out of this one, calling Brian Callahan back up. Like, they're going to get beaten so bad, they're going to think that hiring Brian Callahan back is a good idea. It's not, but they're going to think that. Alright, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on with my audio here, but it's not working very well, which is slightly annoying, but that's fine. Not the audio, the music that goes underneath, but that's fine. The Vikings at Packers. Now, this one is I've talked about a lot of like boring, uninteresting games so far. Other than the NFC North in general is just very interesting this year. But Vikings Packers, that's another really interesting one. Not that the Vikings are a super interesting team, but the Packers are a really up and down team. It's like they had all the Super Bowl talking about because they made this big gigantic trade for Micah Parsons. They're gonna have to pay the price here fairly soon for that, and it looks like the Green Bay Packers are a team that they could make a run or they could miss the playoffs. You just really don't know what you're going to get from them. The Vikings are going to miss the playoffs. I don't think anybody's thinking the Vikings are a team that you can't really figure out. They're just not a very good football team. They are 4-6, and so it's not outside of the realm of possibility. But J.J. McCarthy has not been making me look very smart this year, because I thought he was going to be pretty good. And I guess he just hates me. That's got to be what it is, right? J.J. McCarthy personally dislikes me. Probably because I'm from Ohio. He doesn't know that I actually hate Ohio State, but he probably just knows I'm from Ohio, so he hates me personally. That's why he's being bad. It's because I said he was going to be good. That's how this works, right? It's all about me, and the world revolves around me. That's pretty much what I'm thinking, right? Justin Jefferson was slamming his helmet on the sidelines last week because he's so frustrated. Green Bay's 6-3-1 and might be without Josh Jacobs because of a knee injury. Josh Jacobs might be their most consistent offensive player. Jordan Love theoretically should be able to pick apart this Vikings defense, but we've seen the Packers offense in these crazy, the Bengals almost beat them. The Browns did beat them. They almost got swept by Joe Flacco, which is a thing that shouldn't be able to happen when you're not playing, when a guy doesn't play for a team in your division, right? Didn't quite happen, but it came uncomfortably close for the Packers, especially how bad the Bengals have been ever since that game. But J.J. McCarthy covered as a big J.J. McCarthy has covered as a big underdog before. You never know. The Packers are weird. So, and this one could be a toss-up. I think it'd be really funny to see Minnesota win, but know if they will or not. All right, so y'all want to talk about a really, really fun game, like potentially the game of the week. You got the Indianapolis Colts going to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. You got the 8-2 Colts that have looked pretty damn good all season, but have also, maybe in certain spots you'd think they should have performed better than they did. They're traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 5-5 right now. They're coming off a loss to the Denver Broncos, and they can't really afford another loss. But they're going to have to take down the Colts, man. And if not, they're going to be 5-6, and them making the playoffs or them missing the playoffs becomes like a realistic thing that we have to start talking about. Like Patrick Mahomes might not be part of the playoffs this year. That's a crazy thought. But if they lose to the Colts, it's starting to feel like that might really genuinely happen, because they would basically have to win almost all but one of the rest of their games in the playoffs. Daniel Jones has been settling into a nice game manager type role, which doesn't really seem to fit him personality-wise, but he's playing it well enough. Doesn't have to win the game, he just has to avoid losing it. The Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. I don't know why, but they are. It's probably because they're the Chiefs and everything revolves around this. Just like I was saying, the world revolves around me, but the NFL actually seems to think the world really actually does revolve around the Chiefs, I guess. I don't know. I think this is the spot where I think Kansas City's defense kind of starts turning it on a little bit more this week. But I think the Colts are going to give them hell. So I'll give you my prediction tomorrow, like I said. But I do think this is going to be a really interesting, fun, back-and-forth type of game. You got the Cleveland Browns going to Las Vegas to play the Raiders next week. And this one's going to be so much fun for those guys in Cleveland who get to go to Las Vegas and, they make a bunch of money anyway, so they just get to hang out and have fun in Las Vegas. The game's going to suck, though. Cleveland got steamrolled by Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. Dylan Gabriel threw 52 passes for 0 touchdowns. Las Vegas is starting... I don't even know who they're starting. I guess they're still starting Geno Smith. Why did I say Geno Stone? Because I hate Geno Stone. That's why. Fuck you, Geno Stone. Yeah, Dylan Gabriel. I'm not actually not even. I probably should have looked this up. Is Dylan Gabriel or Shadur Sanders going to be starting? That's the question. Looks like. Okay. So Shadur Sanders is going to be starting, and he gave the Browns maybe a little bit of life against the Ravens, but it clearly wasn't working. And against the Raiders might be a better team to try to make it work against, because they're also very bad. But this is just going to be like bad going against bad and seeing who can be less bad. And also two teams that, could make an argument for tanking. I don't believe in tanking, but some people do. I think the Cleveland Browns do. So I don't know if the Browns players do, but I know Browns management does. Just go ask Hugh Jackson. Yeah, both teams have good defenses. Well, both teams have absolutely horrendous offenses. The line's set at 36.5. If you're watching this game voluntarily, then I'm worried about your mental health. The only reasons I can think of why you might be watching this game voluntarily is if you're a Browns or a Raiders fan, and that's not very good for your mental health. It might be better for your mental health being a Raiders fan than being a Eagles fan, because at least the Raiders fans just know they suck right now, and they also have history to fall back on. Browns fans. As a Bengals fan, I can at least always say that at least we're not the Browns, right? That's. But yeah, nobody's going to be happy watching this game. That's my official prediction. Nobody's going to enjoy this. Jaguars at Cardinals is our next game in a battle of inconsistency, let's say. Obviously, the Jaguars are the better team, but they're inconsistent. The Cardinals are not a good team, but they're also inconsistent. Jacksonville beat the Chargers and looked like a real football team in that game. There's been a lot of other games where they haven't. They lost to the Bengals with Jake Browning. I mean, part of that game was with Joe Burrow, but it's really the Jake Browning part where they lost that game, right? Arizona's lost 4 straight games. The defense has been getting torched. The Jaguars are favorites on the road. They should keep the momentum going. Jacoby Brissett has been solid enough in relief of Kyler Murray and really should pretty much steal his job at this point. If that offense found something last week, though, I doubt it's going to carry over this week. Eagles at Cowboys. Next, you got a massive NFC East rivalry game between, not very good Cowboys team, but a rivalry that spans the ages, right? Philly's 8-2. They're riding a 4-game win streak. Their offense has been sputtering lately, though. A.J. Brown's been in the media complaining about it. It's not looking good, but yet the Eagles keep winning because their defense is just that good. 2 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks is not great, but that was 4-5-1. They're barely treading water. Dak Prescott just hung 33 points on the Raiders. Looked sharp doing it. The Eagles do have some favorites, but I'm taking the Cowboys at home. Dak and that offense are clicking. Philly's pass rush might not be able to get home to make the difference. No, I'm kidding. The Eagles are going to fucking win. But, maybe not. I don't know. By far and away, the most looked forward to game of the season by Mikey and literally nobody else is the Atlanta Falcons going to New Orleans to play the Saints. It's a division matchup. People in Atlanta and people in New Orleans really don't like each other. I don't need Mikey to tell me that. I see it online all the time. These two teams are chirping between each of them we're the better team. No, we're the better team. You both suck. It's kind of like the Bengals and Browns fans chirping at each other. But anyway, Atlanta's 3-7. They just lost Michael Penix Jr. and Drake London, and it's not looking very good. You got Kirk Cousins out here throwing to Darnell Mooney and Kyle Pitts with absolutely no help. The Saints are 2-8, so it doesn't feel that much worse. Even though the Saints have had such a bad season. But they're favored by 1.5, and I think part of it is because Tyler Shuck has given them a little bit of life. Not a lot, but enough to probably beat the Falcons, right? I know once Mikey comes on, he'll probably make a comment about remember when Falcons fans were talking about the playoffs? Playoffs! It ain't happening. So we'll see. I'm kind of feeling the Saints in this game, but like I said, I don't make my predictions until tomorrow. They've had a brutal schedule all year, but they're 2-0 against bad teams. So if they can take care of business against the banged-up Falcons squad, then maybe they'll prove that they still deserve to be in the NFL, right? Sunday Night Football, you've got a matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Los Angeles Rams, and this one has got some juice because Tampa Bay is coming off a loss to Buffalo where they gave up 44 points. Baker Mayfield's been playing out of his mind even without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin this season, but when your defense gives up 44 points, it's hard to do anything, right? Los Angeles is 8-2 and number 1 team in many people's power rankings, but they looked mortal against the Seahawks last week. The Rams are 6.5-point favorites, and I think they're going to pull away late, but Matt Stafford's the MVP favorite, and I think this is the spot where he reminds everybody of why. And then finally, the Monday Night Football game. You got the Carolina Panthers. I was talking about inconsistency earlier, but this might be the single most inconsistent team in all of human history. But they're going up against the San Francisco 49ers, and Christian McCaffrey is returning to face his old team, which is... I liked Christian McCaffrey on the Panthers. I was sad to see that relationship end, but I'm sure Mikey wasn't. The Carolina Panthers are 6-5 and still riding high after Bryce Young threw for a franchise record 448 yards in overtime against the Atlanta Falcons. The kid finally looks like he belongs. San Francisco's 7-4, but they're banged up. They still don't have Bosa. They still don't have Kittle. Fred Warner's ankle is held together with duct tape at this point, probably. Mac Jones has been fine at quarterback, but nothing exciting. The Panthers have an opportunity to take advantage of the walking hospital ward, but I wouldn't bet on it because like the 49ers pull wins out of their asses and the Panthers pull losses out of their asses. It's a very common thing. The Panthers could be in playoff consideration. That's crazy. But they could also be, a complete fluke at the same time. And we'll have to see what happens over these last few weeks. But the 49ers are 7-point favorites. I like Carolina to keep it close. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I think that defense is scrappy enough to make this interesting. So, with all that said, we are going to now move on to the power ranking segment. We're going to bring our friend Mikey in. So, Mikey, why don't you say hi to everybody?
What's good, Joe? We got fresh heat out for the power rankings, but first, before we get into this, I just got to do my daily roast. Playoffs! Man, they were 3-2. They beat Buffalo, and they thought they were going to the Super Bowl. Man, it's fun.
You enjoyed that one, didn't you?
Man, we beat the Panthers. Even the same team that had Carolina in a 3-hour chokehold is the team that just dropped 30. Man, I'm so happy to be a Saints fan, and I never thought I would say that. Thank you, football Jesus, for making the Falcons our rival. Anyways, now let's get the power rankings. Number 10. Woo! Got the Chicago Bears. I was debating, and they were either going to be 11 or 10. But, they are on, they've won 7 out of the last 8 games. They are 7-3. They're winning their division. They are having the close games with not the best of teams, but to be fair, they have Minnesota in a 2.5-hour chokehold. Minnesota came back late, but then the Bears beat them at the end. So, a field goal decided the Bears' fate to be in the top 10 or not. If that field goal goes in the top 10, if that misses, and they're probably not in the top 10. But, the Bears, they're looking sharp right now. That defense, led by him, is doing well for itself. So, you got any questions, comments, or concerns? Kyle, you are muted.
Yeah, I was doing that so my microphone didn't. Who is the guy who's leading the Saints, Mikey? Who's that? What's his name? Say his name.
Dennis.
By the way, I want to point out how absolutely wild it is that in 2025 the Bears are a top 10 team. Like, I thought Caleb Williams' career was headed for major bust territory. I thought Ben Johnson was walking into a disaster, and look at this team now, dude. That's crazy. Maybe it was Dennis Allen. That's what happened. Allen.
No, maybe it was Ben Johnson. Maybe it was him.
Ben Johnson hired Dennis Allen.
No, he did. Anyways, but yeah, Bears at 10, and following that, we got their NFC North buddy at number 9, the Detroit Lions, and the only reason I put the Lions here is because of their track record. Boy, when you go for a 4th down 5 times and you can't convert not one of them, something's wrong. Like, maybe Ben Johnson was that entire offense. Man, you got Dan Campbell calling plays. What does that dude know about offense? Man, 9 points against the Philadelphia Eagles, bro. Eagles are a great team, but you should not be putting me to bed at Sunday night. Like, that should not be occurring. Man, I've been getting a lot of sleep lately because of how bad these primetime games have been.
If Dan Campbell's offensive strategy might be if the defense doesn't have kneecaps, then they can't play football. The problem is he hasn't successfully actually removed anybody's kneecaps yet, so that's part of the problem.
Maybe you should hire like a surgeon to be his defensive coordinator or whatever. But yeah,
hire the guy who sabotaged Tyrod Taylor in Los Angeles and began Justin Herbert's career.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. But yeah, I mean, Jared Goff has not been looking that great the last couple of games, but they're on thin ice right now. One more loss and they're probably out of here. And I got the victory lap. At number 8, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this is another team where I fought to take them out, but I don't know. I think the only reason I put them in top 10, to be honest, 1, Baker Mayfield, I feel like is probably still playing at a high level, and 2, they're winning their division, so that means something, right? Right? But yeah, I mean,
By the way, just real quick, I want to point out that you got the Bills at number 9 of the Lions.
Oh shit, I do. Oh man. I don't know why I wrote Lions, and I don't know, maybe it was on this. Alright, well, number 9 is Bills, so forget what I said. Bills number 9. So where did I put the Lions at?
5.
That's right. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I got the Bucks at 8, right?
No, you got the Eagles at 8.
Okay, well, I don't know what I freaking wrote. Wait, are those even? No, those aren't even the same power ranking.
Well, you got the Bears at 10.
Yeah, I had the Bears at 10, but nah, because I had the Rams at 1. I had the Colts at 4.
This is what you sent me. Let me bring it up real quick to make sure, but real professional video making we got going on here. Find this real quick. Yeah, that's what you sent me. Wait a minute.
Alright, well, I'm going off of this, so.
Never mind. You're right. Okay, hold on. I'll just paste that over. Okay. 1 sec. There's the correct power rankings now. Sorry about that.
Alright, so I was on the
Buccaneers at 8.
Yeah, so yeah, Bucks at 8. Yeah, the reason that they're still in the top 8 is because 32 points is usually good enough to beat anybody, but you were playing a top 10 team. So I don't just penalize the team for losing. If you lose to a bad team, you're getting penalized. But if you're in a dog fight with a good team, the score kind of got out of hand late, but if you keep track of that game, that was basically a close game, basically from start to finish, before Buffalo scored a late touchdown. But yeah, I think the Bucks, I think they're on thin ice, man. One more loss, and they might still be in top 15, but top 10 is probably the end for Tampa Bay. I mean, they could always get back in it, but At 7, the team that I think is debuted is the Denver Broncos. AFC West champs as of right now. They just beat the Chiefs. They're flying high and mile high. Sean Payton got that team in a winning position. Bo Nix getting the ball from point A to point B. Their defense is playing like one of the best in football. Their running game exists. Gordon Sutton can catch ball. Denver is in the top 10. So, any questions, comments, or concerns about that?
No, I pretty much agree. It's wild. It's wild. Holy fucking shit. It's wild because the Broncos have really all year not been looking like a great team, but they just keep winning, and you can't really argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, wins are wins, losses are losses. That's the name of the game, and we got to play by them same rules. It doesn't matter what I think or what you think, but all that matters is when a W gets into that win column. Right now, I see 9 of them W's, and you can't argue with it. Have those wins been, refreshing? Not really, but they just beat the Chiefs. I understand the Chiefs aren't as great as they used to be, but I mean, that's got to count for something. It's a divisional game. Denver currently has a 2-game lead over that entire division. Over the Chargers, but their Chargers are in second place somehow, some way. Dang, the Chargers suck. But yeah, Broncos are at 7 for now. And if they keep winning, they might find themselves in the top 5 eventually, which is something I did not think I would ever say. But yeah. At number 6, we got the Buffalo Bills. Bills, man, I don't know what to think about the Bills. One game they're going out and looking like one game they're going out and getting blown out by the Dolphins. Next game they're freaking beating up on the poor Bucks. The one game they lose to the Falcons. The next game they're going out and beating the Chiefs. Like, man, Bills, can y'all pick an identity so I can actually know where to place y'all? Like, bro, I had y'all like all over the place at this point. It's like, man, y'all were 1 at one point, y'all were 3, 5, 6, 9. I might even have had you out of the top 10 at one point. Like, Buffalo, can you pick a lane and stay in there? Any questions, comments, or concerns about Buffalo?
No, continue.
All right, number 5, man, we got the New England Patriots. Another team where it's like they're winning games, but it's like, play against the Jets, and the Jets, the score may have not looked like it, but I mean, the Jets, they went down the field in that first drive getting that touchdown, and I was like, the Jets might actually do that thing, and they did not do the thing. The score is actually closer than what the game actually was. I think, Drake May is playing at an MVP type of level. I think their defense is playing out of its mind right now. TreVeyon Henderson is probably the number 1 running back from here on out. And the Patriots have a cakewalk the rest of the season. So, with like maybe 2 games, they could probably lose. So, yeah, you have anything to say about New England?
We're going to kick their asses this week.
You keep telling yourself that. Whatever makes you sleep at night. But, yeah.
Nothing helps me sleep at night being a Bengals fan.
Been there. Am there. Well, having Atlanta as our rival keeps me warm at night. But yeah, Patriots at 5. Good for them. They're back. Number 4, got the Indianapolis Colts. Another team where it's like, they could be playing better, yeah. But, I mean, from what they were expected to do, I had them winning like maybe 7 or 8 games the entire season, and they got that just in the first half of the season. So it's like, man, Daniel Jones, he doesn't have to, like I think you said earlier, he's not playing to win you games, he's just playing not to lose, and they are doing a great job at not losing right now. They are, I think they only have 2 losses right now. They lost the Steelers game and they lost the Rams game early in the season. But other than that, they've been pitch perfect. So Colts at 4, and I appreciate y'all for what y'all did to Atlanta last week. Anything to say about the Colts?
They're about to meet the Temple of Doom.
You've been saying that like all season.
No, because of like, because fucking shit. I'm just not even gonna bother taking the overlay off right now. The Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones. The Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, are they gonna lose to the Chiefs? I hope not. Fuck the Chiefs. But it also kind of feels like the Chiefs are the Temple of Doom. So, maybe I'm unfortunately right.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do think the Chiefs are gonna get their get back. I don't see the Chiefs. The Chiefs are gonna play for revenge at this point. And what revenge do they have? Revenge on every single soul. But yeah, Colts at 4, good for them. Number 3, we got the Philadelphia Cheesesteaks, man. That was a nitty-gritty win against Detroit. They keep doing that tush-push, and the referees finally called the false start on them. So, man, I was against banning the tush-push, but if you're not even going to call it right, then what's the point of even having it in the game at this point? But yeah, Eagles at 3, though. Their defense played well. The referees kind of cheated a little bit at the end. But, when you score 9 points, you're not going to win that many games if you're Detroit. So, the Eagles defense held the Lions to 3 field goals the entire night. And like I said, I've been sleeping during a lot of primetime games because they've been some dookie. But, yeah, Jalen Hurts, if that offense can just if the offense can just click at the right time, the Eagles could be a scary football team. I guess they're missing Kellen more than they thought they were. Eagles at 3. Anything you want to say about them before we move on to the top 2?
I like cheese sticks.
Good to know. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah. Number 2, we got the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the Rams-Seahawks game was basically a battle to see who was going to be 1 or 2, and the Rams won, so they got to be number 1. So since they both played, I guess we can address them at the same time while we're at it. Seahawks at 2, Rams at 1. I am confused about the Rams, though. I will say this is why I'm confused. Sam Darnold threw you 4 interceptions, and you only won by 2 points. That just, the math's not mathing for me. But, I mean, Seattle, if I was Seattle, I wouldn't really worry about that too much. I think it's good that he got it out the way now and not in the playoffs. But you can still do it in the playoffs. I'm not saying you won't, but I don't know. I think the Rams earned the right to be number 1 for now. But I will say, the fact that Seattle could have won that game and Darnold threw 4 interceptions is mind-boggling to me. But you have anything else to add on that?
Sam Darnold is the GOAT.
He's better than Jalen Miller.
Injure power.
Crazy.
Not the Rams, right?
Yeah, I mean, I addressed them at the same time.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I didn't know if you wanted to go over them a little bit. But
I mean, I basically did. I was like, they deserve to be number 1, but it's like...
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, that's the power rankings, y'all. So let us know what you think in the comments. I'm like, I don't know if I actually disagreed this week with many of Mikey's power rankings. I'm just kind of shocked at what the state of what the power rankings actually are right now. You've got the Broncos and the Bears in the top 10, which is correct, but it's insane. Now, I will say a little bit, dig a little bit beyond the top 10. I think we've got, like the Chiefs at 11 right now feels high. Like, I know they're the Chiefs, but they're like barely have a winning record.
They don't even have a winning record right now.
Well, yeah, I guess they did just get to. So that's the point, though. Like when do they stop getting the benefit of that?
Whenever they're fully eliminated.
That's bullshit. Another team that just absolutely in no way, shape, or form deserves to be as high as you have them is the garbage ass Cincinnati Bengals. What the fuck? Why the fuck are they at 20?
Because I forgot.
Their offense should be ranked like number 1, but their defense is so bad that I think their defense is so bad that I think they're going to go back and retroactively lose the America in World War II. With how bad the defense is. This defense, I'm generally pretty solid in my fandom of the Bengals, but I genuinely had the thought cross my mind a couple of times, like, do I even really still want to be a Bengals fan after watching this fucking defense perform? Like the fucking storylines we could get from this team if the defense at least knew its ass from a fucking hole in the ground. Like, are you kidding me?
I mean, your defense really can't stop. Bro, your defense probably... I bet Stevie Wonder could probably throw 3 touchdowns on the Bengals.
My 10-year-old son could run straight through Geno Stone, and he'd be like, I don't know what to do. Like, did you watch that motherfucker? I don't know if you watched the Bengals game, but Mason Rudolph, I think. I'm pretty sure this was after Mason Rudolph went to the game. Threw a pass to Darnell Washington on like 3rd and 17, and all you gotta do, it wasn't even, it was a check down. It wasn't even like, like Darnell Washington wasn't down the field. He was like, it was like a I think the ball traveled like 3 or 4 yards, and most of them were behind the line of scrimmage. And this dude runs like there are no Bengals in the area for whatever reason. You gotta know they're going to a big tight end like that. Geno Stone, like I think maybe figured if he mean mugged him a little bit, he might give up. But what actually happened was he kept running, and Geno Stone was like, "Oh, I can't believe a football player is running toward the end zone." And yeah, I mean, he eventually. Darnell Washington went down, but only after Geno Stone had time to prepare some tea and I think he was cooking a souffle in the oven. You could see the hesitation in his eyes. He's like, "Oh man, fuck! Is my souffle gonna if I tackle Darnell Washington, is that gonna shake my souffle and then I'm gonna have to remake it?" He was thinking about all of the things that matter except for football.
Yeah, I mean, Geno Stone.
It's garbage.
Usually I make this joke saying that the Bengals defense can't stop a parked car with no wheels, but I'm pretty sure Geno Stone is currently the parked car with no wheels.
No. The Bengals defense couldn't just not stop. Geno Stone couldn't just not stop a parked car with no wheels. Geno Stone couldn't stop a steering wheel that was dissolved in acid in 1993.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you and I out there could probably catch seven touchdowns in a single game against Cincinnati, man.
I'm pretty sure I could have called Darnell Washington on his phone during the game and made some sort of threat about if you run for that touchdown, then I'm gonna say some mean words to you on Twitter, and that would have had a better shot at stopping him than Geno Stone.
But it's weird though,
Geno's styrofoam.
Didn't y'all sign him because he had that one massive season where he led the league in picks or whatever?
I guess I didn't even at the time when we signed him. I didn't really even know much about him. I was just like, oh, that he was starting for the Ravens, so let's give this a shot, I guess. I mean, I was never inspired by it.
I mean, hey, you could sign Brandon Cooks. I heard DBs can't catch a football, so you could sign Brandon Cooks.
Well, we do need a new wide receiver for this upcoming game, so I don't know. Maybe he can play the Jamar Chase role. Probably.
He's gonna get targeted 3 times if you're lucky.
I think I'll take the chance on Mitch Tinsley.
I'm pretty sure he's probably been targeted probably 3 times all season. No, I'm overjoyed. No, but this man, you cannot tell me that with a straight face that this man's been targeted at least 10 times, bro. Because every single game, this man gets 1 or 2 catches. It's bro, the Saints have 3 receivers on this roster: Chris Olave, Devon Bele, and Mason Tipton.
Okay. All right. Well,
I already know Tipton just ran a route all season.
I think that's all we've got for this week, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to the sports show. Or Gridiron Apocalypse, or whatever the fuck we're calling this. I don't know. I still gotta figure. I still gotta figure out what's going on with all my graphics files, which is why we're so low tech on this on this show lately.
Yeah, 6 weeks to figure it out.
I don't think it's gonna get figured out in 6 weeks. I think it's just gonna be like this the rest of the season. But regardless, we're going to have fun. We're going to keep showing up here, and we're going to keep doing it. Thank you to everybody who watched for watching. We had 3 people and 2 people if you don't count Mikey in the chat. So thanks Richard and Daniel for showing up, and maybe more than 2 people will watch it in the future, but I don't know. Whatever. We're having fun. So I really don't want to say my outro because it feels long.
Okay, I will. Who day and who dat?
Well, I'm gonna anyway. I'm no bitch. So I'll leave y'all as always with a who day.